Hello and welcome to the latest captaincy video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. We are looking ahead to game week 29. It's a double. It's a massive double. In fact, the biggest double this season. My name is Joe, and joining me to pick the best captain for the double game week is Tom Freeman, Fantasy Football Scout's deputy editor. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I've been off for a few days, so just catching up with everything this morning, internationals, injuries, etc. And starting to look ahead to double game week 29. It's a big one, like you say, isn't it? 12 teams playing twice. So feels like a pivotal point of the season for our FPL ranks. So yeah, should be good.
Yeah, definitely. So the captaincy video had taken a break for a while because basically Haaland dropped it. He dropped it for us. Every week we were just saying, look, just captain Haaland, but here's some other guys if you want to be a bit different. But if you were a bit different, chances are you're probably going to lose rank because the following Saturday or Sunday, Haaland then popped a hat-trick in. So we stopped it because otherwise it would have just been a 10-second video. Hi everyone, Captain Haaland, bye. So we're going to give you some more options now. So it's a double game week. Haaland's only got a single game week and he's nursing an injury. According to his dad, he might be struggling, but we'll find out more later in the week. But nevertheless, he has a single fixture and there's plenty and plenty of great options, great attacking options who have got a double. So we thought we'd resurrect the captaincy video for this week, and we'll do that. We'll do that again during the season when it looks like it would be good perhaps to offer advice to not captain Haaland any particular week, and that is not something you can do many weeks. Welcome to those joining us in the live chat. Do remember to press that like button and do remember to subscribe. Also, a reminder that all our videos are on podcast. So if you don't get a chance to watch it all, you can listen away while you walk your dog or commute. So welcome Kudak Washi and Austin among the early birds to the live stream. Thanks for joining us. What we're going to look at, we're going to look at the worst defences over the last 6 matches first, and then we're going to with the fixtures, and then we're going to look at some of the key players we're looking at, and then myself and Tom are going to reveal our top 3 choices. So let's have a look at these worst defences. Okay, Tom. So we've got the last 6 matches, worst defences, expected goals conceded. And I've also got the fixtures next to them, so we can see who they're facing. So that will help in our captaincy decision. Worst defences, last 6 matches. Nottingham Forest, expected goals conceded of 13. They've in fact conceded 14, 0 clean sheets. Bournemouth, 2 clean sheets, 13 expected goals conceded, and 11 goals actually conceded. Aston Villa, which surprises me, not just because they're your team, Tom, but they're actually quite a good team to watch now. But expected goals conceded is the 3rd worst over the last 6 matches of 12. They have in fact conceded 8, so they've been lucky and they should have conceded more. But 3 clean sheets. And Everton, Leicester, Fulham are also awful defences. So what do you think, Tom? I mean, I'll start with Villa first because only 8 goals conceded the last 6 matches, and I've got Ollie Watkins in my team, very pleased, and as a neutral, love watching Villa at the moment, looking good. But why is the defence so ropey according to the stats?
We've given up a lot of big chances since the World Cup. I think we're probably placed in the bottom 3 if you stretch it back to game week 17 onwards too. And I think an issue has been we're still adapting to Emery and his kind of philosophy of playing out from the back. It's been evident quite a few times against City and against Leicester as well when we're trying to play it out from the back under pressure, and when you get teams who press high up the pitch, it can cause a few problems. Now I think we are improving, and I think we're getting better at it. So I'd expect as we watch this kind of table develop in the next few weeks, I'd expect us to start improving on that. But yeah, we have been a bit leaky at the back since the World Cup. So it's something to bear in mind, certainly if you're like a Maddison owner or a Harvey Barnes owner, something like that.
This is why you're deputy editor there at Fantasy Football Scout. You brought us right back in and on track of what we should be talking about, the captaincy. So let's have a look at who Villa are playing. They're playing Chelsea and they're playing Leicester. And you mentioned him there, James Maddison. So that is a good fixture for James Maddison. Even if we think Villa will win that game, we still think there still could be a possibility that Maddison will score. He also plays Crystal Palace with Roy Hodgson. I don't know whether Roy Hodgson's Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just so. I mean, I'd be really sad if I was a Crystal Palace fan. I was just thinking that's talk about a backwards step, but nevertheless, there's chance there for James Maddison with Chelsea as well. They face Aston Villa and they also face Liverpool, who are statistically a good defence at the moment. But the expected goals conceded just 6. But we saw them getting hammered a while back by Manchester United. So looking at that really. What about Chelsea assets? What would be a good? Who would be a good Chelsea asset to take advantage of Villa and Liverpool?
Well, Havertz, if he's fit to play, then he's the one that probably most FPL managers, if they have brought a player in, it's him. I think Felix could be maybe a potential differential there. I think there are better options, which we'll come on to this week, Joe. But certainly the fixtures for Chelsea. This is a Liverpool side who do struggle away from home. They're much better at Anfield, so I don't mind the 2 back-to-back home fixtures for Chelsea is pretty good. So in terms of a differential captain, Havertz, like I say, if he's fit, and then Felix, that could be okay. And Villa and Leicester as well. We mentioned it there. I think Villa are improving, and Palace a bit of an unknown going into this game week because of the Hodgson effect. Yeah. Will they get that new manager bounce? They're gonna prioritise organisation, aren't they, Joe? They're gonna set up in a 4-4-2, I'd imagine. They're gonna try and be hard to beat, and they haven't been that open under Vieira. The problem has been at the other end of the pitch. So I think if you own a Maddison, he's good this week. I don't think he's captainable for me.
No, I just want to. I made a glaring error because I'm such a neutral with all these teams. In my split second head of the live stream with Liverpool and Manchester United, I think I said Liverpool were hammered by Manchester United.
No,
obviously I meant completely the other way around. So thank you to Ronak for clearing that up, and Raymond and anyone else who is about to put that in. I did. That was a complete blunder there. That was a real mind melt moment where I got my Liverpool and my Manchester United muddled up. So please, no one else say it as well in there. Yeah, we know. I know that Liverpool were good then for that one match. So
you're gonna rile them.
Yeah,
now.
I know. They were really good for that one match. Not so good against Bournemouth though, were they? And I do remember that was 1-0 to Bournemouth.
Well, again, it goes back to that away point. I think they have really struggled away from home all season, and it's those they seem like a different animal at Anfield, and that's kind of worth bearing in mind when you look at the Liverpool fixture and gauge the difficulty.
Yeah, well, look, they're playing Man City away and Chelsea away, 2 tough sides, and also they're away, as you said. So I don't think we're going to mention Liverpool again in this bit, which would be good. But other teams that we're considering the captaincy for: Manchester United, of course. Marcus Rashford. He is injured, although was sort of holidaying in New York during his injury. So, and he's been seen on the pitch running around. And of course, Bruno Fernandes is another option there. So Manchester United play Newcastle, who are sort of could concede and might not. They're a really good side, but also there is the chance that good players can score against them. And Manchester United will play Brentford at home. Now that's probably the key one for the captaincy there. Marcus Rashford. I mean, what is the latest with him? I mean, is he actually going to play this match against Newcastle?
Well, he picked up this knock in the FA Cup, didn't he, prior to the international break? He subsequently pulled out of the internationals with England. I was catching up a bit this morning because I've been away, and I think he's resumed light training. I don't think he's in team training. He's been training by himself. The good thing is we'll hear from Ten Hag later this week, and hopefully he'll clear it up. We want him fit and firing, don't we? If there are doubts around him for that first fixture, I don't think we can captain him. So I think it will be eagerly anticipated, that update, and we'll find out where he is. But where he is. But we're lucky this week that there are a lot of other appealing options, including Fernandes. And if we're just looking at these defences on this table, you know those fixtures for United, they're not easy. They're not straightforward, are they? Newcastle and Brentford are both at the right side of that table. So Brighton perhaps have the edge in the fact that one of their fixtures, it's against Brentford, but the other one is against Bournemouth, who are 19th on this table.
Yeah.
And Brighton have arguably been in as good as attacking form as United, really, since the restart. I think they're averaging 2 goals per game under De Zerbi since that restart. So yeah, there's an argument to go with Brighton play at a midfielder
Yeah.
this week, but there is question marks over a few of them as well, and jetting off all around the world.
Well,
So
I think, going back to that point as well. So Bournemouth second worst defence here. They face Brighton, and Brighton also play Brentford as well. So these are good fixtures for Brighton. That Brentford game is at home for Brighton. But in terms of the captaincy, Matoma is playing this to timestamp. This is going live stream on Tuesday midday. I think Matoma is playing tonight.
I think it's this morning. I
Or
think it's this morning.
Was he just played? So around about now.
It was against Colombia.
McAllister is playing round about now or tomorrow.
No, this is the confusing part. That's it. That's in the early hours of Wednesday morning, so tonight, and he's playing Curacao, and I probably pronounced that wrong, so apologies. But it's that's gonna be a situation that needs monitoring. You know, you would think in this day and age they'll get back on a private jet or whatever, but it is something. If he's playing early hours of Wednesday morning, gets back probably on Thursday, I would have thought. Yeah. Something like that. So yeah, we're gonna need to see what De Zerbi said about that. It says about that, because it's the same with the Stupinan, who's playing over the other side of the world and coming back.
So Matoma scored on international duty, according to Bulo in the live chat. I haven't actually been monitoring the internationals there. So Matoma finishes before McAllister. Yeah. So his chances are will be home before. McAllister will be home afterwards. By home, I mean Brighton. And the safest in terms of minutes probably is Solly March, because he hasn't been called up, despite Gareth Southgate going for form, allegedly. The likes of Lewis Dunk can get a game over Harry Maguire, and he didn't bother by taking Solly March, despite his England under-21 credentials as well. So he does fit the bill there, but doesn't seem to want him. Nevertheless, he's there. So Solly March would possibly be the best. I would be erring towards Matoma. Well, I think McAllister's the best because he's on penalties and he's got a broader range of points, and that's what you want. But I think this might make me sway towards March or Matoma if I had them as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Joe. I think if they both played at the weekend and going into double game week 29 on the same amount of minutes, the same amount of travel, I think McAllister, since he moved to that number 10 role, has been excellent on penalties, like you say. But because of that doubt, which is, is going to be there, I think it elevates Solly March above. I prefer March to Matoma anyway, I think. Looking at underlying numbers, I think he's got that dual threat, goal assist threat. Yeah. And I think that both opponents can see quite a few chances down their left as well, which is really good for his assist potential. Solly March, so I think I would put him. I think that does elevate him above McAllister this week, just because there's that little bit of, we don't quite know where he's going to be at in terms of minutes. Even if he starts, could he come off after 65, 70?
I think we pretty much all own Marcus Rashford. I think most engaged managers will own him. And so he makes a logical choice to be the best captain if he is fit. So if he isn't fit, if we get some nudge that that he'll either be on the bench or won't make that Newcastle game, that does leave a situation where people will be looking in greater depth at the captaincy. For me, I'd be looking at Maddison or Brighton midfielder. I do like Maddison's fixtures. I do like his form at the moment. He's playing Palace, as we mentioned, and Villa. But other people will have different choices to make. So for you, Rashford's injured, or he's not going to play that Newcastle game. Who would you go to? I mean, we're going to go to your top three picks in a bit, but I just thought now, because I think just to discuss that injury issue.
Well, I like Solly March, but I would be really tempted to put it on Bruno Fernandes, who I'm probably going to bring in for Martin Odegaard this week. Bruno's played in both of the Portugal games in the qualifiers, but the last of those was on Sunday when he played 79 minutes. And we know Fernandes is a bit of a machine anyway, isn't he? He just plays all the time, no matter what. a bit like McAllister, he's got those pens. He's got set pieces. There was a bit of a concern with Casemiro being out that he would drop a bit deeper, but I don't think he will. I think Sabitzer and Fred will probably start there, and he'll play either in that 10 role or a bit wider on the right. And he tends to do very well in double game weeks, Fernandes, doesn't he? I think he's got 31 points across his last two. Difficult fixtures. Like we said, but I think that United can score against both of them. So, yeah, I think if Rashford was going to be out, I'd be tempted to go Fernandes.
Okay, there's lots of other options as well. And if we're looking for nailed-on players as well, we've got Watkins, Bowen at West Ham. Now, West Ham have 2 home games against Newcastle and Southampton. Bowen, Benrahma. I would because they're home games, Bowen, but these are good options as well for the captain in terms of nailed on and quite good fixtures. Bowen, who else? Watkins,
Isak. You've got Isak as well, maybe.
These sort of nailed on, good form, good fixtures. I think they're good options too. I don't think most engaged managers will consider a single game week player. But obviously, if Haaland is fit, he plays Liverpool, and Liverpool can be beaten. And also Harry Kane now without Conte. I mean, in my head, the shackles have been free, but I don't think they. I think they've still got problems, haven't they, Spurs? I mean, Conte's there or not. What do you think about Harry Kane? Not for as a potential captain, even just in a single game week, as in a nailed-on player who should get a goal or two.
I wouldn't consider him for captaincy, just because going to Everton, they've looked pretty solid under Dyche at home, especially at Goodison Park. They haven't given away a lot. So I'm fine to own Kane this week. He'll probably form part of my bench boost. But captaincy, not just yet. I think if it was a single game week player, bar Haaland, you'd probably be looking at Saka because of that Leeds home fixture. They've got quite a few injuries, so that's probably where I'd look. But I don't think there's any reason to captain a single game week player this week because the options are that good. With the doublers, we've got 4 or 5 players we could feasibly captain who play twice. So I think that's where you want to be looking.
Okay, let's have a look at some of the stats for the expected goal involvement. So these are minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty. So this filters through and gets the most attacking players over the last 6 matches. It's Salah, in fact, top. Partly to do with that Manchester United game, I suspect. But he's had 4 goals across his 6 starts, 49 FPL points. But it's those fixtures. That's where it all crashes down. Any other week, I think Salah might be an option for the captaincy. But City, Chelsea, we've spoken about him before. McAllister statistically the best. 28 points he's gathered over the last 6 matches. Of course, his 6 starts, 5 goals. But looking down, March has got 29, so very similar in terms of FPL points. Matoma's got 40 points. They're all about the same price, all about 5.1, 5.5. And obviously got the same fixtures there, and all very attacking there. So once again, we're going to have that decision there. Statistically, McAllister is the best though, but minutes-wise, I don't know. I think I have to wait until Friday to see what time he gets back and that. But if he starts mentioning about players being tired, we know that he's referring to some of these players here. Solly March could be the go-to guy there. James Maddison is just behind Rashford, so Rashford's the third there. 48 FPL points he's had, 5 goals. So he is a standout for the captaincy. And Maddison's not too shabby either. 27 points he's only got. He's only got 27 points last 6. But he scored a couple of goals. And his expected goal involvement non-penalties just a notch behind Rashford. Then you've got these other intriguing options as well. You've got Sterling at Chelsea. Barnes at Leicester. You got Fernandes you've mentioned as well. We mentioned the Brighton players. Gakpo at Liverpool. Diaz at Liverpool. Diaz is back in full training, but those tough fixtures. And then Bowen sneaks into this list as well. So there's some really, this just underlines what you just said. There's really good options this week, aren't there? Loads of them. I could captain any of this lot. Well, maybe not the Liverpool ones.
No, but then Salah as well. He's traditionally done quite well against City, hasn't he? I mean, I don't think Salah's ever going to be a terrible option. It is just that away form. I think they've had 1 away win this year. Attacking numbers have been okay. I think they've been a bit unlucky not to score more. But yeah, it is though. I mean, City and Chelsea, their defences aren't maybe what they have been in past seasons, but they're still going to be tough games for Liverpool, I think. So I'd look elsewhere from that. Maddison, yeah, I mean he's got that England performance under his belt, hasn't he? When they beat Ukraine, I think he played 85
Yeah,
minutes
he
on
was good.
Sunday,
Yeah, good.
so good boost for his confidence. I do worry a bit about Leicester's form. I think they've only scored twice in their last five, but they're generally a good attacking team. They've got a lot of quality, haven't they? With
Yeah,
Tete
yeah,
and Barnes, who appears on this table, Maddison, whoever plays up front, Iheanacho, Daka, Vardy, they've got goals in them. But again, it's just those pictures, Palace away with Hodgson in charge and improving Villa side who have been very good away from home, despite those numbers we saw earlier. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options, but I do think that Rashford or Fernandes and the Brighton midfielders is where I would look above those. The rest of them I'd classify as differential kind of picks, I suppose.
yeah, definitely. So lots of options there. I don't think with pretty most of them, I don't think you're going to go wrong. I mean, and also, I mean, I'm possibly too quick to dismiss Liverpool. I know they are tough fixtures, and I know they are away. So I wouldn't totally rely on him, but I don't think it would be the end of the world to captain Liverpool player because you never know. I mean, they did, they did so well against Manchester United, and that was considered a tough game. I did not expect that. I don't think anyone did, especially
Yeah,
people who wildcarded then got rid of him. But
yeah,
yeah,
me.
well, yeah, there'll be many did that.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look just before we move on to our top picks. Just have a look at Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. In a bit of detail. So, in terms of FPL points, this is the last 4 matches played. This is a graphic that Fantasy Football Scout has done on their social media. FPL points 28 to 20. Big chances 6 to Rashford, 1 to Fernandes, and expected goal involvement broadly similar, although Fernandes is slightly above Marcus Rashford, who is on 2.11 and it's 2.24 for Bruno Fernandes. So all of these stats come from the Fantasy Football Scout members there. I understand there's a free offer this week as well on that. There is a small membership cost, but that's been waived for this week ahead of Double Gameweek 29. So get delving in to look at these stats. You can do your own little table and your own graphics like this if you're so inclined. Just underlines there that Fernandes is a good deputy for Rashford. Let's have a look at our top 3 picks then. I'll get you to go first. Who's your top pick and who are your standbys?
Right, so top pick is Rashford, one of the best kind of post-World Cup performers. Quite tricky opponents, but I'd back United to score in both of those games. And if they do, and Rashford is fit, I think there's a good chance he'll be involved. So Rashford, I've currently got the captaincy on him.
Yep.
If I have to move away, if we think he's going to miss that first game against Newcastle, I'll be looking at Fernandes. He's my second pick. He's United's main creator. He's got penalties. He's got set pieces. And he's a big double game week player. He tends to step up in these kind of when he's got 2 games a week. He's going to play 90 minutes in both games.
It's almost like he knows that we all want him to do well in FPL managers.
Yeah,
but yes, but it must be. I mean, realistically, it must be that he's just a good performer in big matches in quick succession.
It's those fitness levels, isn't it? Just a 90-minute man, and that's really reassuring to know when you put him in your team that you're going to get that one. It's likely that you're going to get 180 minutes from him. So Fernandes is second, and third I've gone with Solly Marsh, and it is the fact that he's well rested, and that's why he's in there. If I had to pick him or McAllister and all things were equal, it would probably be McAllister because of those penalties, but because of the situation, it's Marsh. I love the Brighton midfielder this week. I think they're on 2 goals per game since the World Cup. Yeah. Marsh has that goal, he has that assist threat as well, and I think the fixtures are probably a little bit better than United's this week because of that Bournemouth game as well. So Marsh, another really good alternative. And it just kind of, this whole video has been about, there's a lot of good options this week. And I could probably add 2 or 3 more to that list and feel fairly confident in them. But that's where I'm at on Tuesday anyway, with the deadline on Saturday.
Yeah, so mine's broadly similar. Obviously, Marcus Rashford, I do think, is the standout captain. Even though the fixtures aren't the best, they're still good for Manchester United, but he is in such good form. But the team news with Neil is going to be on Friday. Do watch that. We'll have his take on all the press conferences there, and particularly with an eye on Manchester United's one. So if he's not fit, my vice captaincy will be on is on James Maddison, and it'll switch to him. I really like Leicester's fixtures, and I think he'll do well. I'm not necessarily saying Leicester will win them. I just think they're capable of scoring, and he has assists and goals. So he's got various routes to goals, routes to points there. And my Brighton midfield of choice is McAllister, because of that breadth of routes to points, assists, goals. He's on penalties as well, free kicks, and he's mostly at the moment he's in an attacking 10 role. But as you pointed out, Tom, there is that minutes. So McAllister and Matoma, I think, will play, but there is a possibility in that first game they're taken off a little earlier. Whereas with Solly March, I don't think there will be that risk. So I think he is probably the sort of the best pick in terms of minutes and that attacking tip. But all three are good. As we saw with the last double game week, it doesn't matter which one you captain, really. They all did really well. And that's just going to keep carrying on, really, because as you said, they've got two goals a game in them, at least. So doing well. So yeah, there's our picks there. Thanks so much to more of you that have joined us. Many more of you joined us. Nearly getting up for nearly 300 now. Derek, Susan, Darren, and many more. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with your captaincy decisions. Do remember to press that like button and to subscribe. And also remember that all this will be on a podcast as well. Tom, thanks a lot. Good luck with your captaincy decision, and see you soon.
Yep, see you next week. Thanks, Joe.